But then, when I went into the Army, I was a military police officer, and we did some corrections training before we left on my first deployment to Kosovo, and I really did like it. And then I talked to some people that had done it, and so that's what set me off, and I really wanted to do it. You know, I just figured it would be good. Don't have to run all the time on the streets anymore, and so.
How many inmates did you start off with?
You basically, after your first 2 weeks training, you get thrown into a housing unit and you have 150.
Oh, wow.
And basically, after you watch videos and do a little bit of walkthrough, you get thrown in there, don't know what's what, and you go and relieve a guy that's been on shift for 8 hours that doesn't want to deal with rookies and hands you the keys and the cuffs and says, see you later.
Good luck.
Good luck. If you need help, just press this orange button and they'll come running. So that's how you start.
What is your relationship to your inmates?
Now is more of a working relationship. I have a crew of about 40 that'll cook breakfast and lunch. And
I mean when you were a correctional officer. So
when I was a correctional officer, you know what? I guess they didn't really see me as an asshole. They see me as more of I wanted to do my job.
And respected that.
Yeah, like they knew if I told them, hey, look, don't do this, they would tell me, okay, you know, we got you, we won't do it. And they knew not to do, because they knew I would enforce the rules. I wouldn't bend the rules for them. I would enforce it, and they were okay with it, as long as I wasn't flip-flopping. They get mad when you flip-flop. You know, one day you're like, hey, yeah, you're okay to do this, but then the next day you're like, no, you can't do it. They get mad.
They like consistency.
They like consistency.
And here, your life is pretty, inconsistent because you have children, and your day consists of putting them to bed and all that stuff. But they're children; you don't know. Very unpredictable.
All the time, it's something different every day.
Do you feel like you ever talk to your children the way you talk to your inmates, or talk to your inmates the way you talk to your children, because your life is so jumbled and you have a lot going on?
You know, sometimes when I talk to the inmates, I feel like I speak to them very low, like have to dumb it down for them, because some of them are not very bright. I mean, some of them came into the United States, that's why they're in prison, illegal or whatnot, and they have a 4th, 5th grade education, and they know nothing but prison life. And so when I have to explain something to them, they get, the dumb version of it, And then sometimes when I get home, I get moody. I get moody because I don't want to deal with crying. I don't want to deal with, the nonsense. But I got to switch and know that they're 3, 1, and they're babies.
You deal with 40-year-olds who have the same education that yours.
Yeah, my 3-year-old can say her ABCs already when this guy over here has been on drugs so long that he lost all his teeth. So, I just gotta.
That's fantastic.
I gotta get back into the mode of home. And actually, now that we moved down here, because it's about a 45-minute drive, I feel that the drive actually helps me calm down. Because before I was 10 minutes from work, and it was like, you're from work to home, and you have no time to take a deep breath. And
so that drive's like a therapy.
Yeah, the drive is very much like a therapy, and you get to take a deep breath, and you get to relax, and listen to the radio, whatever it may be on the drive.
Yeah.
So.
That was awesome. Awesome. All right, let's go ahead.